Hello everyone and welcome back. So, I do hope that this version of the stream is going to work a little bit better now after I restarted my router. But yeah, it seems like at this time of the day, when my neighbor stopped uploading stuff to the internet, that is not so good for my own upload, which is a bit of an issue. So he just got to contact me from Langweiler. Let's give him a shout, and let's also use a little bit of speed brake here, as I was distracted with my router. Hello, Lufthansa 433 Heavy on the Dixat 1 Alpha arrival.
433, Langen, hello, identified, stand fire, flight level 100.
Stand fire, the starter level 100, Lufthansa 433. And that's flight level 170 and Alt Magenta. Alright guys, I do hope that this live stream works a little bit better now than the previous one did. Can just apologize for the issues. So, well, we're back on the arrival in Frankfurt, and I do hope that things are gonna go a little bit better now. So obviously I was busy for the last 100 miles, so let's actually go ahead and do a little bit of work here. And the last thing I saw before I restarted my router from the previous stream was that someone said, isn't that going to kill your simulator when you take the router offline? No, it's not. It takes like 10 minutes without internet before the sim just goes into kind of a freeze. So what happened in the meantime? We've left our cruising altitude. We are now descending towards Frankfurt. Got a clearance down to 10,000, and we are following the Dixat 1 Alpha arrival. Did we do an approach briefing already? I'm actually not 100% sure, but I'm not 100% sure if we did the approach briefing yet. I suppose we are going to do it again, just to be on the safe side here. And we're now back on the VNAV path, so let's stow those speed brakes. So, thrust auto descent, Alt 15,000 Magenta. Okay, so the approach is going to be radar vector ILS approach runway 25 left, or radar vector ILS Yankee approach runway 25 right. The minimum on 25 left is 570 and 25 right 560. Go around on the left runway is left, climbing 5,000. Go around on the right runway is go around right, climbing also 5,000. Extra fuel and time. Let's see what we got now. 1,100 equals 15 minutes. Perfect. Okay, so the approach will be config 3 approach on runway 25 left, the config full approach on runway 25 right, in both cases guided by the flight director, manually flown with manual thrust. Config 3 respectively full, so 3 on the left, full on the right. 120 805 left on the 533. No, I don't think so. Empty? Interesting.
Information data. Lufthansa 2 Mike, hello, Delta correct, flight present heading for 25 left. We will flight present heading expecting 25 left, Lufthansa 2 Mike.
Hello, Lufthansa 433 Heavy, level 152, descending 100.
Then back to the bridge.
Lufthansa 433, Langen, hello, info Delta 25 left, expect vector.
Delta 425 left, Lufthansa 433. Alright, cool. So with that, we are now on the way again. So we were on the briefing. So radar vector ILS approach 25 left, flight director guided, config 3 this time for sure, idle reverse, on brake low to indicate the runway to the right. Stop margin will be over 1,000 meters, much over 1,000 meters, more like 2,000. And for our taxi in, we've got one hotspot, that's a crossing of runway 25 center. With a bit of luck though, we might be able to catch a visual approach on the 25 center, which we can accept until we are 5 miles out. We're not going to accept it inside 5 miles. Okay. Nothing special, nothing non-standard, and that's really it. Any questions? No? Beautiful, so that's our briefing complete. And anti-cooperative. On 25 left, config 3, 25 right, config 4. That's obviously because of the length of the runway, since 25 right is the shorter one. Now Scotty100 asked in the comments, can you put printed stuff on the tray table? Unfortunately not at the moment. Right now it just puts it down here on the left side.
Left heading 110, expect 60 taxi.
Left heading 110, roger, lift on the 433.
The 7 kilo Mike, turn left heading 280, descent 4000.
Alright, vertical speed heading 110. Then we can already clean up the FMS. So direct 620 and 066 inbound. That looks about fine. No enough intercept, check, and pull heading. Alright, we're entering the clouds, temperature up here 6 degrees, engine on GSR.
210 knots of rate, wind flow established, and it was landing when we first right.
7 kilo Mike, your own link lead for this approach, not yet clear to land, your clear ILS Yankee 255. Lufthansa 2 Echo Tango, Frankfurt, hello, info Delta, runway 25 left, descent flight level 100.
Alright, we'll go selected speed here, so that the airplane doesn't reduce automatically.
4,000 feet, reduce speed 190 knots.
And LS in the comments, I gotta admit I never used sim speed up until I saw your streams. Game changer. Instead of like 1 or 2 flights in a session, I can now do like 5. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of increased sim rate. Man, look at those clouds. Beautiful. All down. And Decadios, have I been a flight instructor before the airlines? No, I haven't. Now, would I recommend going down the instructor route before going to the airlines? Honestly, no. Get into the airlines as fast as possible. That gets you up on the pay scale as quickly as possible. And that means you're going to earn more money over your entire life. And you know you can always just still get an instructor later on.
7 kilo Mike, speed 180 knots until 6 flights, final contact Frankfurt Tower 118, decimal 780, tschüss.
180 Android on 6, contacting 118 decimal 780.
And anti-cooperative, when you extend the center line, would you ever use nav blue like in the A350, or does the 330 not do that? Oh, they all do that, but we actively turn that off. So when you enter the radial indirect, then nav arms, but we immediately pull the heading knob. You do that on the 350 as well, by the way. That's because the airplane would otherwise intercept the center line when you cross it without ATC clearance.
Lufthansa 433, turn left heading 090, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1016.
Lufthansa 433, left heading 090, descend 5,000 on 1016.
Lufthansa 7 Papa Yankee, connect Langen, 133, decimal 435.
First oil open descent out, Throttle 50 blue, managed speed 250. And let's just do like 200 feet a minute here to lose that speed. Right, set QNH. QNH 1016. Cross checked, passing 9,920 now. Alright, so let's give it some speed brake to lose that altitude. So going for 10, lights on, lights, EFIS.
So the one Alpha Mike reduced from 60 knots more or less speed. Also von der Woche machen wir
First oil open descent.
So, vielen Dank. Preceding heavy, 777, 5.7 miles ahead, 160 knots indicated.
Okay.
Lufthansa 2 Mike, turn left heading 290, descent 5.
So here's all that. The T-class is on below already, so it looks like there is not a lot of traffic. So I'm kind of hoping that full speed brake means we'll just fly a little U-turn here and then establish on the runway. Okay, approach checklist please. Barrel ref, QNH 1016, seatbelts on, minimum, baro 570, engine mode selector, norm, and I forgot one. Where's that checklist?
The one for my connect tower, 118.780, 118.780, the one for my shutdown.
Auto brake, go, and engine self selector,
Mike,
norm.
heading to 70,
Approach checklist
left,
complete.
25 left, reduce to 10. Mike heading 270,
Engine anti-ice off.
Correct, reduce to 10. Center 2 Echo Tango, turn left heading 190.
Playing Minecraft in the comments. It supports 4 times time acceleration.
Info Delta, runway 25 left, flight
And we've got 1,000 to go. And then let's have a little bit of fun here. Manual flight.
Sensor 714, Langen Hallo, climb to flight level 130. Sensor 433, reduce speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, Lufthansa 433. Now, that was spot on.
For Echo Langen Hallo, climb to flight level 130, high speed approved.
I just dialed in the 220 and a second later the instruction came from ATC. All star.
Good armed arrival, Lufthansa Cargo 8413, info Delta, level 125, descending level 110.
Guten Abend, Lufthansa Cargo 8413, arrival identified, info Delta, 25 left, flight present heading.
LS 25 left, expect present heading, Lufthansa Cargo 8413.
And Charlie M, is there a reduced engine taxi-in procedure? Yes, you can do 2 engine taxi-in, and we will do that later on.
Lufthansa 433, reduce 180 knots, then descend 4000.
Lufthansa 433, speed 180, then descend 4000.
Lufthansa 2 Echo Tango, reduce speed to 20 knots, then descend 5000, QNH 1016.
Home descend out 4000 blue, flaps 1.
Lufthansa 7
Speed check,
Sierra,
flaps
descend
1.
to flight level 70, turn right.
So he's probably going to put us in between those two. That's why he wants us to reduce the speed first and then descend second.
This 8 for Echo, proceed direct relax. Lufthansa 433, right turn heading 220, clear ILS 25 left, report established.
Right lane 220, clear to LS 25 left, will go Lufthansa 433.
Lufthansa 714, connect Langen 133, decimal 435, tschüss.
133, 435, Lufthansa 743.
So, look at that beautiful pitch here. Now we've already got pitched back down again. So, 180, descend 4000, and we're cleared for the ILS.
Lufthansa 2 Echo Tango, turn right heading 230, maintain 5000 feet, intercept localizer, runway 25 left. Arrival, good evening.
Okay, clear for the approach. Cat 1, glass loop localizer blue.
829er, Frankfurt arrival, hello, information Echo, runway 25 left.
Lockstar.
To Mike, vielen Dank, connect Frankfurt Tower 118, decimal 780, tschüss.
Okay, all runways in sight.
Lufthansa 2 Echo Tango, reduce speed 180 knots. Lufthansa 7 Uniform Sierra, keep high speed, the number 1 if you can, 280 knots or greater.
Lufthansa 433 heavy established.
433, vielen Dank, maintain 180 knots till 6 miles, Tower 11878, tschüss.
180 until 6, 11878, Lufthansa 433, check.
Approach, guten Tag, Area 0214, descending, contact flight level 190.
There was like 4 people at once, I...
Forward, hello.
Ja, schon genannt, Lufthansa 433 heavy, ILS 25 left, all runways in sight.
Roger. Okay, go 2 for Bravo, keep it rolling into Mike 30.
Keeping it rolling into Mike 30, go to Frankfurt 2 for Bravo.
Man, that's not the direction I want to fly to.
That's 1 Alpha Mike, wind 2037, that's too fast.
Other side any better? A little. Man, the scenery looks fantastic here, doesn't it?
Perfect.
Alright. Last stop capture.
Climb.
Not that shit again.
Clear of conflict.
Yep, TA only, thank you. So, speed is not coming back, gear down. When the speed starts running on these aircraft, drop the gear. Only thing you can do.
Mike. Was machen wir da jetzt? 330, fast auf dem Runway stehen.
Lufthansa for Mike going around.
Du kannst dich noch ignorieren, wie du willst.
So, komm rein da.
Did you hear that? I'll translate the German for you guys. Lufthansa 3 Alpha Mike, so what are we gonna do? There's an A330 on the runway. So do you want to go around? And you can also ignore them. Okay, then we'll ignore them. Oh boy.
To Mike 22037, that's runway 25 left, due to that.
So, flaps 2. We'll already get the drag out so that by the time we reach 6 miles, we can put the engines on idle and then that's it.
2000.
Any chance for the swing out?
433, get visual to the center in case of this 5000.
Clear visual 25 center in case of mist, straight at 5000, Lufthansa 433 heavy. Love it.
Go 2 for Bravo, cross 25 center, Lima, short November 14.
Okay, so, clear for the visual. Now, manage speed, flaps 3. Totally loving this. And flaps full. No, actually they stay in 3. Why are you not on approach phase? I suppose I don't want to know. Alright. And on the spoilers, a little bit of thrust. So, here we go, established on 25 center. Now,
1000.
Yeah, landing checklist, ECA memo, landing checklist complete.
One Mike 118,
What Mike 5 Lufthansa for Mike Schnappi, ciao.
das 433, wind 2037, that's 25 center, clear to land.
Runway 25 center, clear to land, Lufthansa 433 heavy. Alright. So at clear to land, the wind is going to lose a little bit in strength, but apart from that, it's like it's going to be on the ground already. Everything's nice and stable. Beautiful. 4 degrees pitch. It's quite accurate. As it should be on the config 3 approach.
Mike.
I like it.
Mike, discard, unclean gate, jetzt am Gate.
500.
Taxi Mike, Tango shot, Tango 4.
Mike Tango shot, Tango 4, Lufthansa Mike.
Ocean 1 Ocean 1 685.
400.
Ocean 1685.
Und
300.
685. Ja, die Situation mit dem Runway, die war jetzt nicht so die allerhellste.
100 above.
Egal.
Ja,
Der hat next landing Airbus A340 in einer Runway 25 Center.
Dann muss ich schnell zum Runway runter.
200. Minimum.
Der next landing
Continue.
Airbus A340 in einer Runway 25 Center behind.
100.
Lufthansa Cargo 2 for Bravo, contact Motor 185
50.
Center.
40. 30. 20 yard.
Ocean
10.
1685, line up Runway 25 Center.
Line up, Ocean 1685.
So, spoilers, reverse green, decel. See, you really got to flare it at 40 feet. knots. Manual brakes, and of course our exit is blocked over there.
Line up, disregard, wind 220 for takeoff.
Then we've got to taxi one further if that guy is not.
Lufthansa 433 into Lima 13.
Into Lima 13, Lufthansa 433. Yeah, that's the next one.
433 short Lima, contact 121.855, ciao.
Short Lima 121.855, Lufthansa 433, cheers. Apron low, Lufthansa 433, heavy vacating Lima 13.
Lufthansa 433, Frankfurt 8, guten Abend. Taxi right on Lima, expect that Bravo 20.
Right on Lima, expecting Bravo 20, Lufthansa 433. So you see, it's really important that you call ground early, so that you can get clear of that runway exit.
With 99 Delta, wind clear of the Lufthansa, Boeing 737 behind, pushback approved, area 1.
Okay, so down at 10 knots, and off we go. We'll get the entire airplane off the runway, and only after that we are going to start with the other procedures.
Lufthansa 433, taxi via Lima, November 6, hold short of November, expect short delay.
Lima November 6, hold short November, Lufthansa 433. Stand mal wieder nicht frei?
November 5, noch was los.
Ah, alles klar. Yeah, typical Frankfurt. You fly fast, you land early, and then they park you on some of those November taxiways because your stand is occupied. Alright, and anyway, welcome. So guys, you want reduced engine taxi, we'll do that, but first of all we need 3 minutes of cooling time before we're allowed to shut those engines down. So that's first. In the meantime we can tidy this up, 7 hours and 40 minutes flight time. And then let's also start that APU.
KLM 1926, contact tower 118.780, bye-bye.
Okay, November 6 is next left, and then we'll hold short of November, and over there we gotta wait until our parking is free. That's so typical Frankfurt. This really feels like real world.
Lufthansa 4 Lima November, runway 25 center, taxi via November 7, Lima, hold short of Lima 3.
Alright, so left over here, and then we can already do the after landing checklist. Radar and predictive wind shear off, after landing checklist complete.
Condor 2370, request taxi.
Condor 2370, runway 18, taxi via November 3, November, hold short of November 5.
Sierra 18 via November 3, November, hold short November 5, Condor 2370.
Apron gute, Lufthansa 2, Mike, crossing Tango 4, short of Lima. Lufthansa 2, Mike, 8, gute, taxi.
Okay, so that gentleman over there is probably blocking our gate.
Victor 115, via November East, November, Lufthansa 2, Mike, gute.
So, park and brake set, and then we've pretty much got 3 minutes, including the time at idle reverse or shutdown number 2 and 3.
Jump cargo 2.
So single engine taxi preferably is done on engines 1 and 4, or I shouldn't call it single engine taxi, it's a dual engine taxi. By the way, the APU is not necessarily needed for that. So preferably done on number 1 and 4, unless you've got any doubt about the suitability of your of the areas where the engines are over. So you look outside, you can see 2 and 3 are located over the taxiway, 1 and 4 are not. So if there's any doubt about the surface here, like if it was grass or something the like, then you would shut down 1 and 4 and run the blue hydraulic pump, or the blue elect hydraulic pump, but normally 2 and 3 are shut down. That's how you do reduced engine taxi on the A340. Okay, so it will be Bravo 20, so let's already get that open. And there is no follow needed for this. Handling by Fraport. So Bravo 20 is going to be on the very end to the right hand side.
Taxi to runway 18 via November 5, November, Lufthansa 132. Frankfurt now,
So, a couple of you guys discussing the question whether an early release makes sense over here, and I tell you honestly, I think for a version 1.0 this is in a pretty good shape. Of course there are a couple issues left, no doubt about that, but overall I think that it's doing pretty well at the moment. I mean, you've seen how we flew from A to B, and that pretty much everything worked, so except for my internet. So yeah, I think that was actually quite good.
Once the 220 negative, one more inbound aircraft, then I can give you. Roger.
So that's probably us, the next inbound aircraft. Man, look at this. I mean, honestly, this is really impressive, isn't it? Really, really impressive. Superb graphics here.
Lufthansa 126 requesting startup.
Lufthansa 126 startup approved. Information Echo QNH 1017.
Startup is approved, QNH 1017, Lufthansa 126.
So QNH 1017 he says.
Lufthansa 40 November, hold short of Lima 6, contact tower 118.
So where's that guy going? Right onto November, then hopefully once he's out it's gonna be our turn to get in.
Condor 2370, continue taxi via November.
Continue taxi via November, Condor 2370.
And anti-cooperative, as someone who is based in Frankfurt and lives near the airport, can you tell us if what we see now is close to real life or not?
The Condor A340 crossing right left on November, behind taxi descent Bravo 20 via November and November 5.
Lufthansa 43 behind the Condor A330, right left, taxi gate Bravo 20 via November 5. Just confirm that's the guy who's currently turning out of November 5?
Negative, the one behind him. He is on November behind November 5. Condor A330.
Roger. Danke. Very good that I asked, because I would have said, yeah, this is a wide airplane. The sim probably doesn't have a Condor 330 and therefore just takes that one, but no, there's actually one more coming over here.
Ryanair 7 Oscar, good evening ground. We are requesting IFI clearance to Berlin.
Ryanair 70, Frankfurt 8, then hello, clear to destination Berlin. Tobak 8, Mike.
Okay, so here's the 737, and thereafter comes the Condor 330, and then we can go in.
Squawk 1000, flight level 70, Tobak 8, my departure. By the way, our call sign is not Ryanair 70, Ryanair 7 Oscar.
Ryanair 7 Oscar, Roger, read the correct.
Okay, so here comes the A330.
Taxi via Lima, hold short of Lima 3.
Okay, now we're clear of him, and lights going back on, park and brake off. Now, let's see how much power we're going to need. So, 40%, it's moving. So, the Condor is far enough away that we're not going to damage our airplane. Chris, thank you very much for the $5.99 donation. Hi Emmy, to become an airline pilot, would you recommend me to take an expensive one with a DA40 or cheaper with a Cherokee? Honestly, that's not going to make any difference. That's not going to make any difference. Take the cheapest one possible, then you'll have enough money left for a self-sponsored type rating if it becomes necessary afterwards. Okay, so left and right are clear.
From France, had a good evening, Lufthansa 02 Juliet, for the mission Echo request now to Salzburg. Lufthansa 02 Juliet, 8, then hello, clear to destination Salzburg, Cindy 8 Sierra departure, flight plan route, climb via SIT, altitude 4000 feet, squawk 1256.
Okay, so Bravo 20 is almost to the end.
Climb via SIT 4000, squawk 1256, Lufthansa 02 Juliet. Lufthansa 02 Juliet, read the correct. Austrian 220, sorry for the wait. Startup approved and went clear of the inbound Lufthansa A340.
Oh, that Austrian over there has been waiting for a long time.
Area 1.
Wind clear of the A330 turning into Bravo 20, pushing start approved, area 1, Austrian 220.
Lufthansa 126 requesting taxi.
Okay, Bravo 24,
Lufthansa 126,
22,
runway 18,
and
taxi
20
via
is over
November,
here.
correction 6 via Lima,
APU is
November
already
10
on,
at November.
lights off.
Taxi via Lima, November 10, November Lufthansa 126.
Danke fürs tolle Lotsen heute. Tschüssi.
Tschüss, schönen Abend. Danke fürs Fliegen.
Alright. Bravo 20. Now let's make sure we don't stop in the turn.
Lufthansa
Otherwise
132,
things are going to get
contact
funny
tower,
on two
118,
engines.
bye-bye.
Contact tower on 118.780. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, Lufthansa 132.
Contour 2370, contact tower 118, decimal 780, ciao.
118.780, gute Nacht, 2370.
Okay. Wow, this is close. And stop. That was really close. Alright, APU bleed is on, button rig set, and 4 and 1.
Lufthansa Cargo
Cabin crew,
235,
all doors in
April,
park.
hello, cleared to destination Lanaka.
Oh, exactly the right moment.
Sierra departure, flight plan route.
But we can get rid of this.
Altitude 4000 feet, squawk 1103.
Okay, so let's leave the ATC frequency here. And with that, welcome to Frankfurt. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of stuff here. So first things first, disarm those doors. Here we go. Engines are off, then we can turn off the beacon, shut down the seat belts, external power comes on. Those fault lights are not supposed to be there. Those are definitely not supposed to be there. So we gotta write something down into the logbook here. Well, apart from that, here we are. So, yeah, you shut up, please. Thank you. Okay, so parking checklist. Parking brake out chocks, brake set, engines off, and fuel pumps off. Parking checklist complete. Okay, trim tank mode has fixed itself. Let's wait a moment for the outer tank transfer. Let's see, is there actually any fuel left in there? No, there isn't. Well, in that case, I'll just open and close the valve. Let's see if that fixes it. Airbus, have you turned it off and on again? So, on. Not doing anything? Yeah, supposed to be on. And off. Okay, so the outer tank transfer is broken. So we got to put that down into the logbook here. And apart from that, we have made it. So welcome to Frankfurt, everyone. Now let's do the post-flight stuff. So transponder 2000 and stand by. Like that. Now let's see about the fuel. We used 46.5 and we were supposed to use 45.2. Okay, so we used like 1,300 kilos more fuel today. I can't really explain why, if I'm honest. I really can't explain why, because we basically flew the altitudes. Ah well, I think I can explain why. Look at that, it planned us on 370 right away. Now, that probably means it calculated a little bit fewer fuel usage compared to what we actually did, even though our optimum was lower. So I guess there was something wrong with the cruise level offset, because the default SimBrief profile for the A340 has a very, very high cruise level. I've already changed my profile to do cruise level -1000. So optimum -1000 as new optimum, because the SimBrief profile for that aircraft type is just off. And you can see I've already increased my performance factor to 102% as well. But yeah, apart from that, could that explain 1,000 kilos? Or 1,300? Not really. I mean, this might explain it. It wanted us with Mach 0.79 over the Atlantic. Now, that is very slow. 7.9 in an A340? No. 8.0? Yeah. With tailwind? Yeah. But 7.9? That's a little bit too slow, is it? Charlie, no, we've not been flying a higher CI. We used 30 all the way. Because, well, 12.09 is scheduled on block, and look at that. Half an hour early. So there was no reason to fly faster. But yeah, I suppose we are just gonna leave it at that. So let's go ahead and shut that airplane down. Don't need the APU any longer, 10 degrees outside. So that comes off, that comes off. We can leave the lights. We gotta leave the emergency lights until the passengers are off. And batteries off as well. Alright, cool. So we'll leave it on the external power here for the time being. Then let's go ahead and open up that door as well. Are they coming from the ovens? Ooh. Well, that must have been some hot ladies, even though they didn't particularly look like it. I suppose I don't want to know the details. But with that, welcome to Frankfurt. So, here we are, on the A340. Again, it's just a joy to fly this transatlantic. Still has a couple bucks left, as you guys have seen, but honestly, it's doing what it's supposed to do. And it's really fun doing that. Now, looking down into the comments once again there, yeah, Skypilot is really nice of Lufthansa with that parking, letting passengers board the plane right through cockpit windows. Well, you can see there's actually still quite a bit of space left, so while it looked really close, it really wasn't. By the way, that's a very efficient way to dispense passengers, is it? Like, just put one jetway into the other. Now, at 33 Mike, there are no lower deck lavatories on the A340-300. It's only on the 600. And Gideon, thank you very much. Yeah, the graphics are really good over here. Though there are times where I wish that I had an RTX 50 series graphics card so that I could use 4 times frame generation. With my 4090 card, I'm stuck with 2 times frame generation. But overall, this just looks really, really nice, doesn't it? Cloud Surfer 350. Did I disable the interiors? No, I didn't. Here they are. All still there. Just a little hard to see through the dark windows down there. And SP Carlos, your videos are really making me want to get FS24. Looks stunning. Would you recommend it? Yes, I absolutely would. You know, I really don't get why people are so negative about that sim on the internet. I've been using it ever since it released. Well, let's say from about a week after it released. The first week with the server issues, it was unusable, but ever since I am using that sim, and I never went back to FS 2020 except for, I think, 1 777 and 1 737 flights when Boris released his sound pack. But apart from that, I've been using FS 2024 ever since, and I'm honestly very happy with it. It runs pretty stable. Well, there are a couple of issues in the menu still, but, you know, once you're inside the sim, it runs pretty stable. So there's nothing for me to worry about that. So yes, I would definitely recommend it. And Post Canada lovers, thank you so much for the $2 Canadian donation. Would I consider a partnership with Captain Sim? Well, I would say it depends on what the partnership is about. If Captain Sim wants somebody to ridicule their products, then I'd be in for it. I would absolutely be in for it. I mean, to be totally honest with Captain Scam, you know, I think their business model is a very, very good one. They do minimum effort on anything but the modeling, and they sell these things for 20 bucks. But you know that to this date, the best-selling product on Marketplace is still that Bredox 737 MAX. And I would never ever recommend anyone to get it, because it's basically just a visual model of a 737 with some 787 avionics in it, and it's totally buggy, and you know. But the thing is, it's so cheap that people simply buy it despite the reviews. They're like, okay, for 20 bucks, what could go wrong? So that's minimum effort, maximum outcome. So the business model of Captain Sim is a very successful one. Very successful one. They gotta be one of those developers making the most money in the entire flight sim industry. And you can absolutely see why. I'm just happy that there aren't too many other developers jumping onto this. And yeah, Metal Eye, GSX is also minimum effort, that's true, but at least it does something useful when it works. Alright then, one CAG is asked, was this livery done by Atarium? iniBuilds didn't tell who did it, but I think they do all their liveries themselves. Okay then, so I think at this point we did it, and we arrived here without any problems. So thank you very much for flying along, everyone. Now I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my weekend, and I hope that all of you are gonna do the same. Thank you very much for flying. I do hope you enjoyed the stream as much as I did. And with all of that out of the way, I'm really looking forward to see you guys again on the next one. There will probably be some more A340 streams, depending on how the next week goes and how my working schedule is going to look like over then, because I have a feeling some stuff is going to change from what's currently in my roster, so we'll see how I've got time available over the next week. But for the time being, thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.